Hello and welcome to Mimi Sketchbook. Today my illustration is based on Paul David Tripp's book New Morning Mercies. And today is June 11th. And we just had two very beautiful, warm, well actually hot days. They got up to the 90s. So one of the days when it was so hot, my two daughters and their children and I went over to my sister's house to go swimming. And while we were there, her daughter came over and her daughter-in-law came over. And so there was a nice group of us all there, and our kids were swimming, and it was a beautiful day. So at one point, my sister said, I'm going to go make a shake. And right away, everybody knew she was talking about Shakeology. And they were all, I think they're all into it and buy them and drink them and know about the Beachbody program. So she went to get a shake, and she asked me if I wanted one. I said, nope, I'm fine. And so she came back with it, and she said, do you want to taste? I said, no, thanks, I'm fine. And she said, oh, it's really, really good. And I'm like, great. I have my sparkling water here, and it's great, I'm fine. And she said, but it's good for you. You should try it. And I look at her and say, but I don't want it. So right away, some of you might be able to detect that there is an older sister, younger sister dynamic going on. And this dynamic has been going on for about, I guess it's 70 years now. And we still haven't outgrown our roles of older, younger sister. Now, I have to tell you, my sister is amazing. She's wise, she's smart, she's generous, she's kind. She is truly someone to look up to. But when she begins to exert her authority over me, no amount of cajoling or wisdom or guilt or shame will get me to say, yes, you're right, I will. There is just something in me that has to dig my feet in and say no. Now, if she were to offer me a real chocolate milkshake, I would have said yes. But there's just something about preparing something out of a package, a bunch of powder, and add artificial flavors to them and artificial sugars and all that. I just don't want. I really don't want it. But she really wants me to have the benefits of it, and will go on until my daughter says to me, Mom, just say no thank you. So it must have sounded like we were heating up a little bit. Well, today Paul Tripp says in his introduction, no amount of guilt or shame can do what grace is able to do, make us people who delight in the Father's will. Now, this is a very poor example of that particular message that he's giving about our heart, the condition of our heart. But I do understand that sometimes it doesn't matter what anybody says to me, even someone who I love and adore and I think is the wisest person I know. Paul says it's the sin in our heart that corrupts our thoughts, desires, choices and motivations. And that makes me dig my heels into the ground and say no to my kind and generous sister who just offered me a cold drink. Boy, do I need grace. Thank you for joining me at Mimi's Sketchbook. I hope this was an encouragement to you, especially if you have an older sister. God bless.